And now it's saying our estimated burn is 115 seconds, which is... Was that about what I figured? I think so, yeah. 2 minutes, and then we did about 30 seconds. I said 2.5 minutes. Yeah, so we're good. Yeah, none of the engines that I don't want to go are going, so we're fine. We're all fine here, thanks. It's a little bit longer burn than I'm comfortable doing in low Earth orbit or low Kerbal orbit, but you deal with what you got, not what you want. And I also could have probably, I could have probably gone around in orbit and done this again. Although we've already escaped, so maybe not. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, and I started a minute and a half before, and it's a minute and a half left in the burn. We are basically as perfect as we could possibly be. Okay, these tanks are already out. These tanks should last through this burn no problem, which is nice. I can also transfer fuel from this guy to these guys if I want to keep up the burning, but I really don't think that's necessary. Like I said, once we get done with this burn, we are 99% of the way done burning. Maybe not 99. 90% of the way done burning. Okay, let's zoom out here. We're working our way up to Joule. So far, I hate to jinx this, but so far everything is working out basically the way I was hoping it would. That's probably about as good as I can get there. So now, when we set up a maneuver node here, that's going to put Joule there, and if we speed up a little, no, we have to slow down, which is the opposite of what I actually would want to do. But I'm going to do it anyway. And then if we focus on Joule here, let's actually go into time warp, because there's a bug going on in the game right now that makes me want to do that. Okay, 200 meters per second. See, we've even got that before we even lose those engines, so we're good. We're good. We'll have an entire full tank. Okay, so let's go ahead and, yeah, as we change our meters per second, as we lose meters per second here, we're getting closer to Joule. Okay, and that's the sweet spot right there. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good because we wanna encounter Tylo, and then so we can do a mid-course correction to do that when the time comes. Okay. Bye-bye, Kerbin. That is awesome. Okay, let's refocus on our ship. Make sure we don't have any weird Moon or Minmus encounters. Probably should have done that before we did anything else, but hey. But now we've got the ship in orbit of Minmus. We've got the ship going to Joule. We might as well get him out of Joule's sphere, or out of Kerbin's sphere of influence. Probably cut the ambient light down a little bit. Yep, that is the next thing to happen. And then head back to Jeb. Jeb is the next major thing to happen. I think I'm going to time warp a little bit with this guy just to get him going along his way. We'll go about 50 days or so. I like to get them away from major bodies before you jump away from them, because they tend to like to hop back into the sphere of influence that they just left and totally screw up your day. Okay, let's jump to this guy. Let's actually close the alarm details. Let's hit F5, mark this occasion. And now we'll jump to this guy. Okay, I don't remember what we're doing with Jeb. What is Jeb doing? He is on a sun orbit. Oh, he's doing a mid-course correction to actually encounter Kerbin, which I am totally for. Jeb is coming home, and now, unlike the other ship, he is going to be ditching his tanks as they empty. We actually shouldn't be doing that. We care more about fuel efficiency than we do speed right now. So what we're going to do here is, as soon as the time warp stops, we're going to put these guys up to pump level 1. Okay, close the alarm and unpause. That way they pump all their fuel into the center. And then now when they run out, I'll know that I can ditch them. Okay, let's go ahead and aim at our maneuver node. Tiny little 1-second burn here. We want exactness. Whoops. Ah! We want exactness, he says, as he totally screws up the burn. That was me hitting the Z key instead of the X key there. Luckily, we have so much fuel that we don't have to worry about it. I'm joking about that. We don't actually have so much fuel we don't have to worry about it. Okay. Now, in a perfect world, we've got a nice encounter here. Not actually an encounter with Minmus, but it's getting very close to Minmus's orbit. Then we can add a maneuver here to both do this and this. We don't want to do this as much. To get a nice Minmus kind of orbit. And there you go. Boom, Minmus encounter. Perfect, good enough for me. It is a lot of meters per second, but we've got 3 grand and it's like 2 and change. So there you go. And it is the next thing to happen, so let's get there. It's supposedly a 53-second burn. We've only got 10 seconds of it with these tanks. And we probably need at least a minute and change with this. So we probably, I would say, a minute and a half. We'll estimate a minute and a half. So we have to start 45 seconds ahead of time. Somewhere around here is Kerbin. I think we're catching up to it, so it should be over here somewhere. I have no idea where we are. There's Kerbin. Are we actually... No. Oh, wait. I think Minmus is our target. That's Minmus. Okay. I'd like to know where things are. There's Kerbin. There's Kerbin, and Minmus is down there. Okay. Now that I know where we are, I feel much better. Should probably aim at the maneuver node. Should probably also hit F5. And 45 seconds out, we are going to burn this guy down. And the next orbit around, we will reach Minmus with some fuel left. Not a lot, but some. That's all that matters. Okay, just waiting for the fuel to get out of these guys before we ditch them. They are still on a Minmus escape or Kerbin escape trajectory, which is fine. They'll be tossed out into solar orbit, which in my book means that they are deletable from the game. Yeah, Minmus, if you can see it, it's right next to this star. You can see this star here, and then Minmus is just below it to the right. I know that because I have it targeted, and NavHUD does a nice job highlighting it for me. Okay, when we finish this burn, we're going to have over $1 grand left in the tank, which is very nice margin is in my book. Okay, I have my finger on the X key as opposed to the Z key. So with any luck, I will actually get this thing stopped correctly. And okay, I'm ready to do the last 20 or so meters per second slowly. A little more finesse than I'm used to doing. There we go. We have an encounter with Minmus. Let's delete this. Let's focus on Minmus. And that's a pretty darn good encounter, to be honest. Yeah, right at our periapsis, we can do this whole thing here. We can... Oh, we're coming in. Oh, we're coming in from the bottom. Well, we want to do that anyway. So let's do this. That's a crazy amount of... Okay, you can stop moving him along the line here. Yeah, this is where things get confusing. Okay, tell you what. Let's start over. Now that I know what I'm doing here, I want to slow down and go a lot like this. And then we want to keep slowing down. You have to do this in steps, otherwise you get really confused. Because eventually slowing down becomes going normal. Okay, and now that we have that, now we can drag the maneuver node back to where I actually want it, which is right here. That's pretty darn good, if I may say so myself, and it's only going to cost me 151 meters per second of the grand I have in the tank. So I think we can eschew trying to get down a nice encounter. We can do that with a separate burn. 53 days. Oh, I was like, but yeah, I was looking at the alarm clock and I got confused because there's a sphere of influence change before that, and I was like, why is there a sphere of influence change? But the sphere of influence change is this guy going into Minmus's sphere of influence, like you would expect him to do. He's coming from the south. There's Minmus. Hi, Minmus. Oh, we are 2 days away from our periapsis. That's kind of amazing. Jeb has been in orbit for 9 years now, or been away from Kerbin for 9 years. It's kind of sad that he's all the way back here and he's not going to be able to go home. But that's the life of a spaceonaut. A Kevin spaceonaut. Okay, that should be perfectly fine. That's pretty much garbage, but it'll get the job done. Okay, let's set him as a target. If we do it here, we'll meet him on the light side, and that works out good for me. So let's bring this down. Let's bring this down. And bring this down a little bit more. And then bring this up. Oh, God, There we go. We're nice and even, and then we're meeting him there. Okay. Do things in steps. That's the way you do it. You get your money for nothing and your chicks for free. I think after we get this thing landed on Minmus and we start mining, I'm probably going to end the stream because I do have to go to sleep. I do have to work tonight. And this will be a good place to leave it, I think. Jeb's probably got a mine for who knows how long. On Gilly, it was hundreds of days. I think I've got a more efficient get up now, but I'm not going to guarantee that in any way, shape, or form. Okay. Okay, so if we bring him down, we can get an encounter, which is what we want here. Kind of sucks. We would have to bring him down. How many meters per second is this? 17. I think it's worth 17 meters per second. A couple of them a little bit more than you'd want to get this encounter. Okay. There's efficiency and there's being ridiculous. Not doing this burn would be ridiculous. And actually, I can probably just do it now. Burn retrograde. And delete the node, and then just burn it down until we get an encounter. Oh, you suck. Oh, I hate this game sometimes. Okay, Kerbal Alarm Clock to the rescue. 1.3 kilometers if I just tap this. 2.3. Okay, so let's reverse. This is why I won't play without Kerbal Alarm Clock. Well, this is one of the many reasons why I won't play without Kerbal Alarm Clock. 1.6. Less than a kilometer. 300 meters. There we go. Let's add this alarm. Kerbal Space Program won't tell me how close I am, but Kerbal Alarm Clock will. Oh, now it'll tell me. See, here it is. Here's that encounter Kerbal Alarm Clock or Kerbal Space Program didn't want to tell me I had. Okay, let's go ahead and turn this on. Now we want to get this. Let's go into locked mode here. We want to get this aimed at that, which is why I'm doing this exactly the wrong way. We actually, tell you what, we want to get this aimed at that. That's what we want to do. Then we want to aim ourselves retrograde. And we want to hit F5. And we want to get ourselves nice and close to the ship. Jeb, say hi to your new home for the next who knows how many years, decades even. That was terrible. But I somehow stopped 0 meters per second away. Okay. Now, we don't have any tugs, so this ship has to do everything itself. And actually, I'm thinking that I'm going to just attach... I think I'm going to do this now. I'm just going to... Because I don't want this anymore. So why would I do that? So let's go ahead and get ourselves over here. Then aim ourselves retrograde, which the game isn't allowing me to do because I'm only going 0.4 meters per second. I suppose that's fair. But we'll get ourselves over here. And then aim at our target, which is going to be this docking port right here. Then go like that, just to have a nice thing here. Now you are facing Jeb. We are going to control from here. Set Jeb as a target. Now we're going to use what we've got, which is going to be slightly off center, which I've never actually done this before. There we go. I like to get this moderately close. Jeb's going to be upside down, but you know what? I think he doesn't mind. There we go. This guy has nice control, which is nice to know. I verified that it worked, but I didn't verify anything else. Okay, so we're going to set him to 16. Just get all his fuel gone. And I think we'll keep this until we go down, which is coming up now. Okay, where are we landing? We are landing here, and the sun is rising. That is pretty much the best thing we could have. So let's go over here. Let's slow ourselves down. Turn trajectories back on. Go right about here. So it's actually going to be sunset when we come down, but that's not a big deal. That's just the way it works. Okay. So let's aim ourselves at that maneuver node. Oh, wait. Let's make sure we're controlling from the right place. Let's control from here. Aha! It thought Jeb was the control from place. We have 869 meters per second. Not 100% sure that's enough. Let's find out together. If it's not, we're going to be in trouble. We'll have to bring the scanner back and put his fuel in there and hope that's enough. But, okay. Let's go ahead and time warp to this maneuver node. And we're going to have to stop soon anyway because people outside are mowing the lawns and stuff. It's going to get very loud as they get close to my apartment. You have to turn off. How does that look? That looks pretty darn good. Yeah, I think that's fine. We'll deal with it being kind of a little bit off there. Okay, now we're going to bring you up a little bit so that you actually get over this guy. Maybe a little bit retrograde. We currently have a periapsis of 1.7 kilometers, which is probably low enough to ditch that thing. But I think we're gonna do this burn first. And then we'll ditch it. And he didn't get more fuel. No, he was just pulling fuel out of the stack because he was able to. Although that's funny, there's fuel lines here that go this way, but apparently he could get fuel out of this somehow. Not going to ask. Don't need that right now. Don't need that right now. And let's go down to our 1 second burn. Okay. Our periapsis is actually higher than it was, so I think we're going to bring this thing down until we start slowing down. Although, I mean, it looks like we're going to crash. So if we do this, I love the trajectories mod because you can do things like this. This is, now we can land basically right on top of this guy, which is perfect. Let's aim at that maneuver. Yeah, I think I'm going to toss this now. When we were moving that way, so it kind of tosses aside. If it stays in orbit, it stays in orbit. And let's head down. Yeah, so we have 841 and we need 175. So we are obviously very fine. Going crazy with the time warp here. Okay. We are aimed at our maneuver node. I'm going to actually rotate this guy so up is up on the nav ball. That's the way I like it. Bring up the HUD again. I want to land as close to this guy as we can. There we go. And I think we can aim retrograde, and now I think I'm going to keep the maneuver node just for the timing on it. But I'm going to burn retrograde. I'm going to kind of do it by eye. And we've got 10 seconds before we need to hit the node. I'm actually going to do this here. We're just going to slow down to 0. Well, actually, we're not going to slow down to 0. Let's go ahead and aim ourselves retrograde, not prograde. Geez, that would have been bad. I just want to land as close to this thing as I can. And now that I'm thinking about it, I think I want to go sideways. That way the solar panels are in the sun. I don't think the solar panels are actually going to matter that much right now. But you might as well, right? And we've got 680 meters per second left in the tank. Should be in surface mode, not orbit mode. Should probably lower the landing gear. Yeah, what this ship has that the other ship didn't was the much smaller drills and the smaller converter. So not only is he not only is he much... Whoa, what are you doing? Don't you dare. Not only is he much lighter than the other ship, but he doesn't need as much power. And it seemed like my problem had nothing to do... My problem drilling at Gilly had nothing to do with the efficiency of the stuff. It had to do with the fact that I didn't have enough power to run it. So, oh, here come the people doing the thing. So after this landing, I'm definitely going to leave. But anyway... I hope you all enjoyed watching this. I definitely enjoyed playing it. I don't know when I'm going to be back, but it will be sometime in the moderately near future. Hopefully tomorrow, and maybe tonight, but I doubt it. I'm actually going to do this on purpose here. I'm going to turn so we are perfectly east-west. There we go. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this. I definitely enjoyed playing it. I'm HMV, and I will, as always, talk at you later.